Hi, my good listeners. Welcome to another episode of Android Programming. We'll be looking at the Java collections, whereby we're going to sort the recycler view objects alphabetically. What's a Java collection? This is a class that provides an architecture to store and manipulate the group of objects when it comes to Android and Java. All the operations that perform searching, sorting, inserting, manipulating, deleting, etc. can all be performed in Java and Android by this collection framework. We'll also be using the comparator function, which imposes a total ordering on some collections of objects. So these two aspects will make the alphabetical sorting of recycler view. And I will be using this in the movies application, whereby you can get to watch the video on YouTube, and you can also get the source from the GitHub, which I'm actually showing right there on the screen. From here, let's integrate sorting the recycler view alphabetically into an Android application. I'll be headed straight to Android Studio. Right there in the call of the load.json, if you have the source, you will be able to see this portion right there in the main activity, where we make the client call using retrofit, and we have a response which is being passed to a list right here. If you notice on response, we have two callbacks right there in retrofit, on response and on failure. Right there on response, we get the response body and the results from the APIs, and we pass it into a list array, which is right there called movies as the objects. Now at this point, we need to call up the collections to actually make sorting of the list items we have. I'm going to actually call collections from the collection class. It's a Java utility. Collections. And we call the sort, which is actually going to be a list, and we're passing the movies as the list, and the identifier, which is actually going to be right there at the model, where we're going to pass in the name alphabetical. Now that's an identifier. We call it the movie by, let's make it a constant, name alphabetical. That's fine. We have that set right there. So from here, we're going to actually create the comparator right there in the movie model. So let's straight to the model. We'll go to the movie, and after the constructor, you should have this that extends or implements pass label. This is the model, the set and get methods of all objects. Now we need to pass in the comparator right here. So it's going to be a public static final comparator, which I actually told you that it's a function that imposes a total ordering on some collections of objects. And we're going to have the generic, which is the movie class, and we're going to give it a name called by name alphabetical, which will be instantiated with the new comparator. And right there, if you notice, we have to override the compare. This is the method that we need to actually compute the comparison. So we have to do that right there, which returns, instead of returning 0, it needs to, it must return the movie, that. Now we call on which name are we trying to make comparison on, or which object right there. And if you should look at it, the best object to make comparison from all the serialized names is the original title, which is the title of each movie. You know, that's the best way to make comparison. We can make comparison on other aspects, on other objects like the release date or the popularity of each movie. But let's make comparison because we are trying to create an alphabetical series here. So we'll try to make comparison on the original title, which is the title of the movie. And after doing this, we need to compare to call the compare to which string, which actually takes in the TL, which is the second attribute there, and it calls on the original title. So with this, you have the return type set, and we need to just close that up here and make this work. So now by the name alphabetical, it's actually going to be pointed at. Now a peep back to our main activity. Let's look at our sort. Movies, this should be a comma, not a full stop. With that, now the movie can call the identifier called by name alphabetical, which is right there in the model called the movie class. Now we can use the by name alphabetical, you know, right there to actually set up the comparison, and it's actually going to sort the movies list. It can be an array list, it can be a list utility type. You know, it's going to actually sort them out alphabetically based on the original title, which is the title of each movie. So that's how the sort is being done. We're going to actually look at this right there in the emulator. We'll check out when the collection sort is being attached to the movies list, and we're going to comment that out to actually know once when it's not attached to it, so that we'll be able to actually see the sorting work. And at the point of the sorting, we're going to use Expresso to make a test on this, which will be done later on after this basic tutorial. We're going to make Expresso work on the tests of the sorting. So that's just it. Don't go anywhere. Let's emulate this. Let's see, right? It's right there in the emulator. So let's comment the collections and see what we're going to have from the screencast. So we're going to comment this out and run the application one more time. So thank you very much guys for hanging out with me throughout this tutorial. If you notice throughout the two screencasts, the first one that is a sorting alphabetically on the title of each movie. So it actually sorted the list of movies based on alphabetical order, while the second screencast was just a random, just the weights, the JSON is spits the object out. That's how it's being consumed. So it's really good to mix some sorting on your list items so you can actually have a better presentation of data. Thank you very much one more time for hanging out with me. Please don't go anywhere. Subscribe to my channel. Have a blessed time. Bye bye.